The Central American river turtle, or what we know locally as the Hicatee, is a critically endangered species across the world. This reptile is now only found in Belize and parts of Mexico and Guatemala. It has just about disappeared from everywhere else. While we still have one of the healthiest populations of this freshwater turtle across the length of this country, the species is still under a threat. This turtle is eaten in many rural communities in Belize. So overhunting puts added pressure on the already vulnerable Hicatee population. It is for this reason that the Fisheries Department regulates this species.
We understand that Hicatee is important to us from a cultural standpoint, especially people in the rural communities. They've grown up for generations eating Hicatee, but it's our responsibility to put some control measures in place to ensure that the population remains viable in Belize. And so the boss rarely allowed us to remind the public of what the fisheries regulations are and to remind them that it's really up to us to ensure their conservation and their long-term survival in Belize.
The Hicatee has a closed season that lasts for 1 month from May 1st to the 31st, so Belizeans can still hunt this turtle for personal consumption during the next 11 months of the year. You're only allowed a certain number for personal use and of specific sizes. Fisheries Officer Hampton Gamboa explains what you are and are not allowed to do when harvesting and having Hicatee in your possession.
People can only free dive. You're not to use nets for Hicatees, and any one individual according to the law can only have 3 in their person. But if you're traveling with it in a vehicle, you cannot have more than 5 Hicatee at any given time in one vehicle. It doesn't matter how many people are in a vehicle. Okay? And then outside of that, we do have size limits for the female. The female Hicatees has to be within the range of 15.2 inches to 17.2 inches. Anything larger than 17.2 is considered oversized, and anything less than 15.2 is considered undersized. So those 2 size groups for Hicatees are illegal because we're trying to protect the juveniles as well as trying to protect the breeding stock.
Eating wild meat is a common practice and part of a cultural tradition for many. The Hicatee is a hit at local fests and during the Lenten season. But this has pushed the demand for sales. And as Hampton Gamboa explains, the sale of Hicatee is prohibited and carries a heavy fine.
It is illegal for you to be selling Hicatees. That's the reason why we don't encourage it either at these fests, talking about fests, these village fests and so on. Like, for example, La Ruta Maya coming up, things like that. We don't encourage, people are advised not to be selling it because it's illegal, and it carries a heavy fine if you are found in committing any of the offense that I previously mentioned. And even if you're selling it, it could cost you up to $2,000 Belize. It's a fine that is set $2,000 Belize once you're found with possession of Hicatee, whether it is during the closed season, whether it's within the size limits that I have previously mentioned.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.